Zinging here at your service, bringing you this matchup, which I already am going to call it, man. There's a Bane. It's a good match. It's a good game.
Actually, the last time that they met, it was a deny pick for Andoryu. They got the Bane. I believe it was Omega. Yeah, it was. It was an 18-minute game. Game number 2 was 11 minutes. So it's a staple for Omega versus Black. Always a Bane.
Like it was just yesterday. And putting the Mathilda in here, let me just say it now, helps with one of Bane's main weaknesses. Homies is just a straight-up immobile jungler. So with the Mathilda in the hands of Perks, who, by the way, if you look back at Perks' career, he's so good at setters, right? But you put a hero like Mathilda who's a utility, makes you think twice, but it's just there to help solve Bane's situation, Aurora's situation, even Oheb, see? Even, what?
Talking about mobility.
That's great. So that's what the mid trio looks like. Smart Omega, they're more of the safe trio. Looking at gold, though. Looking at gold, let's talk about the Filipino sniper, Oheb, and of course, Jome. Is it just me, or did these heroes switch? Like, wouldn't you expect the other to play the other hero?
Exactly. Even the Harith action, this is the first time for a very long time I've seen Harith been selected. Although the contestant rate is high, it's always banned out. It's not used, but this time it is. And, you know, we have a lot of memorable plays, but wait a minute, because Andoryu goes in up against Lord JM, but here again is the Perks factor. Lord James doesn't care. We note that Rizla, same with the Bane, lacks mobility, but with the Guiding Wind, they can just go anywhere.
That's right. And as long as he has the full combo, you know, penalty zone, flicker, and I did not say that wrong, folks. You do click penalty zone first, and then you cancel with the flicker. You're making business there. That's a cooking. Oh!
Okay, Frigid Glacier for Omega as they tried to get the turtle. They secured it. A flicker out for Lord JM. So there was no trade for Blacklist that time.
Yep, it's a flicker for a flicker and a retry for another. And so far, because of how, I'd say, slightly tighter Smart Omega's movements are in the early game, that'll allow for them to go up maybe 300, 400 gold on the first turtle alone. 2.5 minutes in, Blacks International. Again, I'm going to talk about how great their synergies are, but on a hero-per-hero basis, Ingan, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Folks watching at home, I'm going to have to side with the barangay.
Yeah.
Like, when everything goes well, especially if Smart Omega continues to snowball, bring this lead up to 1,000. Oh, no, here we go!
Oh, but they pick off Haji there as he escapes with the Guiding Wind. Again, the Perks factor with the Mathilda will take into effect there. But looking at the Blacklist side, for their side, I believe the X Factor will be Haji. Not just because Haji is the captain, but again, the Aurora. We've seen this during Fnatic Onyx versus FCAP, wherein when Few casts the Frigid Glacier and it connects onto at least 2 or 3, the counter attack of FCAP is just immense. So Blacklist right now needs to make sure that the Frigid Glacier will always connect. Even Lord JM and MP the King, they don't have to start the clashes.
Nope.
It's the counter attack strat for Blacklist.
That's right. And count me up into this 76% for Smart Omega because leading up to day 1 of week 5, I also called it. I said Omega's going to win this. But look at that. Off camera, Haji put down to about 1/10 of his health, courtesy of Andoryu. And this is unfamiliar territory for me, Ingan. It's been a while since we've seen a 4-minute, 5-minute game with no first bloods.
Yeah, especially for Omega. Omega's been playing very well. I remember when they compared Omega and Mpl-Ph stats, Omega had the faster game and a fastest, longer game compared to Mpl-Ph. So technically, they're not the comeback kings because they've been dominating the early game.
The barangay has been working towards a better start. And I'm not just talking about in-game, but even their Season 14 has been on fire, holding a streak up until the 2nd week. Now, second turtle's already spawned up, about 500 gold between Omega and Blacklist. Andoryu just working on his small camps. Might even go for the orange first, as it's Blacklist circling the pit.
This is such a passive game, but again, it favors Blacklist lineup. They have Oheb with the Moskov, so if ever this game extends to the 18-minute mark, 20-minute mark, Blacklist can actually win this, but Omega starting things off. Look at Ryota! Finally, some action as Joe picks up a first blood. And Andoryu picks up the second turtle.
See what I tell you? If you count out everybody and what they do in a team fight in an objective take, Smart Omega has it all. And Blacklist, you already mentioned it, they have the late game. They just have to hold out. They have to make sure that OM makes it to, what, 14, 15 minutes without dying too much, and that the map is on their side. But look at this. After the turtle take, second turtle take, mind you, Jome goes for the trade.
Okay,
that's a
good
top
trade.
for bottom.
That's a good trade. top for bottom again. But if this game extends again, it will go to Blacklist. And I just like to say, I think we have a passive in the caster's desk because every time we say that the game is passive, immediately right after something happens.
Yeah.
And in that case, it was Ryota's final slash connecting on to 2. Props to Jong for being there at the right moment to dish out the Synchro Vision as well as the Zamin Force. But okay, a conceal play coming in from Omega.
What are they looking for? It's more of a safety rotation because it's either Omega is thinking that there might be someone there, or Blacklist is a step ahead, dodging a bullet. See this? Like Blacklist also pull in their own version of the Ube in 2024. They're just sticking to each other. Look at this. They're not even touching top lane.
Yeah, and this is the second consecutive game that Blacklist is sticking with the same lineup.